everybody. I'm Linda with Sisters in the Kitchen. Mary's at home today. I know I didn't create an event, so some of you probably won't realize I'm live for a couple of minutes, but I was scheduled to go over there. We never know about this East Texas weather, and I do not like to drive in it. And so far, we're good, which I hope it stays that way, but I just didn't want to take a chance. So sometimes the storms go south of the interstate, sometimes they go north. We're north of the interstate, Mary's south of the interstate. So Mary's at home. She's working on some of our stuff that's kind of behind the scenes stuff. So of course I miss her today. I just got through talking to her, but I'm doing what I'm doing today anyway, what I have to do. I'm working on 2 orders, so I might seem a little bit more business than usual. Sometimes I get like that. I always say I'm the Martha of the group and Mary's the Mary. So anyway, I guess that's just our different personalities, but I miss her. And anyway, so I would just want to show y'all a couple of things, and then I'm going to frost this cake. This is my cute little boxes that I'm putting my cookie order in. They're these little boogers takes a minute to fold, and I have a whole bunch of them to fold. So if you see boxes in the background, that's what I'm going to be shipping them in. We're going to get those out tomorrow. But anyway, they're real cute little boxes, and they have a little string tie that goes on them with a little name placard. So that's what they look like. And some of you the other day when I was doing shortbread, when Mary and I was doing shortbread, we were making the cookies. I told you we'd have scraps left. I'm going to show you my scraps. This is 2 bags of shortbread scraps just from cutting out those cookies. These are some really, really good eating. I don't drink coffee, never drank 1 cup of coffee in my life, and it took me all night to drink it. And the only reason I drank it is because I was working an all-night 12-hour shift, and somebody went to the store and bought everybody coffee that was working that night in the hotel, and I felt obligated to drink it. So I finally got it drank, but I'm not a coffee drinker. But Mike drinks coffee, and he likes to have a little treat with his coffee. So I'm going to try not to step away from the camera. I've tried to get everything here. I'm going to just set those aside. If y'all think this is I've got a lot of stuff out here, you're right. But when you're frosting a cake and decorating a cake, it takes a lot of stuff to get out. So this cake is a 2-layer cake. The layers aren't quite as big as they normally are because this is going on a certain cake plate, and it can only be 6 inches high with the frosting and everything. So these layers are probably a little bit less than what they normally are. I'm not going to post the recipe, but I'll tell you how I made this cake. This is a basic yellow recipe cake, just a basic cake batter. But what makes it not basic is I added some good stuff to it. So I added some cream of coconut. I also added about 3/4 of a cup of Baker's Secret moist coconut, and I added I got all these boxes around me. I'm ordering on the brain. I added a small can of pineapple. So it's almost kind of like a pina colada cake. It's got all those good coconuts and pineapples in it, and it's going to be a very good cake. So anybody that's baked a while know that you want to keep your cake moist. And while this is a moist cake, and my hands are clean, I've just washed them. This is a moist cake. We're going to do a couple of things to make sure that it stays moist. This is just a cake tester. I use this to poke holes in it. This particular brand is in a Tico. I buy these by the case. For some reason, they get thrown away quite often here at our house. So this is simple syrup. Y'all seen me use this before. Just equal parts of sugar and water. And we use imperial sugar because it's extra fine. And I just take my pastry brush, and I'm just going to dab this on the top of it. And it'll sink down into these little holes. Now, a lot of people will do this when the cake is warm. I don't. I do it if I'm doing muffins. I do put simple syrup on them when the muffins are warm, but for the cake, I don't do it when it's warm. I do it after it sets for a little while. And the reason I do this is because I don't want the cake to tear apart because my cakes are heavier than normal cakes are. And of course I got it. These are my bubble straws. Everybody that's ever made a cake knows that I am going to have to get the scissors because I'm going to have to cut that. I thought I had everything out that I needed, but I'll wait just a second to do that. So I've mixed up a huge batch of buttercream. I always mix up probably at least 4 pounds of powdered sugar and a couple of pounds of butter. And I'm going to just put this on here. I use an offset spatula. And just FYI, we're going to do a cake decorating from start to finish and bake the cake too. We're going to do that at another time. But for today, I'm just doing this so you'll have get a little bit idea. And cakes, one reason they take so long is because it has to be done in steps. And this cake is not totally cool, but it's cool enough that I can frost it. If it was too warm, this frosting would melt, and you don't want that. So I put a generous amount of frosting on it, and I'll try to make sure this is kind of even. When I'm doing wedding cakes or tiered cakes, I actually use a Stanley leveler just to make sure the top is level. This is kind of I'm not as particular about this one being exactly level because it's going, this weekend is pilgrimage, first weekend of May is pilgrimage in Jefferson, and well, not my hometown, but where I live. They always have cakes, beautiful cakes. Used to years ago before we moved here, we would go to pilgrimage and they would have all these huge, beautiful cakes under these cake domes. And it's just kind of a nostalgic because you're going through old historic homes and you expect to see something like that under a pretty cake dome. So this is, while they will eat this cake, this is for people to see and ooh and ah over. Hopefully they'll ooh and ah over it. So you'll see I've got my second layer here. Whoops, don't want to drop it. And I use lots and lots of parchment. This is my parchment round here. I just turn it upside down. And I'm going to put this one on top of here. And I use parchment to turn my cake layers off of. And then I have circles that I go around the pan that I have so it makes the edges smooth. Believe me, that parchment stuff is expensive, but it's worth it because it keeps you having a smooth edge. And I know that some bakers cut around their cake and cut that crust off. I don't, because I don't like carving cakes. To me, it's asking for disaster. I guess because I'm not professional, I'd rather just do it my way. So that's how I do it. So I'm gonna punch a few more holes in here. And again, this is no rhyme or reason. You just punch them until you feel like you've got enough in there. And then I'm gonna brush it with simple syrup again. This is fun. I love doing this. It's like playing the piano. It's something that relaxes me, especially if I'm not rushed and in a hurry to do something else. I love decorating cakes. And again, there's a lot of pastry chefs. There's a lot of bakers that follow us. There's a lot of people that probably are professional that do this. I'm not professional. I've done this all my life. I think I made my first wedding cake when I was, I don't know, very young. And I've always liked to do it. But if y'all see me doing something that you wouldn't do or that's a no-no in professional baking business, I'm not a professional. I just do it because I like to do it. And I'm not a perfect by no means, but I am pretty good at it because I've done a lot through trial and error. So next I'm going to take my straw. Now I've got to get the scissors, so give me just a second while I grab my scissors. Wash my hands again. And this is where you put your straw in. And when if you're putting straws in, these are called bubble straws or tea straws. You get them online at Amazon. You can buy big straws in the store. Most of them are colored, but I like the clear ones. So you want to measure it, and you want to make sure that you go down further than what you think you do, because cakes will settle. So you wanna make it go down just a little bit further, so you don't have a straw sticking out of the icing. So this is what I did. I just kind of measured, and I'm gonna stick them in there. So you could put more than one, but just for this cake, since it's not a tiered cake, those two will be plenty. So I'm going to put some more icing on here. A lot of people start frosting the sides. Again, that's your preference. If you want to frost the sides first, by all means do that. I don't. I start at the top and then I go down. So whatever suits your fancy. This is a pretty creamy buttercream. This is a buttercream that's going to crust over. And if you don't know what I mean, if you ever look in the cake aisle in Walmart and you see the Wilton, you'll see a bunch of Wilton stuff. They have tubs of already made icing. I guess it's somewhat like the icing that you buy, the little tubs in the baking aisle, except it's a big tub. And you'll notice on there, some of them will say creamy. And if you buy one that says creamy, it's not going to crust, and it's going to be creamy. And if it's in the slightest bit warm where you're taking the cake, or where the cake's going to be at the venue, that cake's going to slide. I'll tell you, the creamy icing, I don't like it. I like the crust, the buttercream that crusts over. So what that means is it's like it sets, is basically what it means. And you'll notice that I'm using an offset spatula to do this, but I'm also going to use a bench scraper too. I'm so used to sitting down. I may sit down a minute before I realize it, so if I do, y'all will know my back can't handle standing up for long periods of time. So if I sit down, y'all bear with me. So I'm going to just get enough icing on the sides that I can do the bench scraper, and I'll show you how I do that. This is it's a real, there's so many different recipes for buttercream, and I know when we first started filming, I had this one particular guy that just got really, really irate at me because I would not give him my buttercream recipe. And according to what he said, he wasn't even in the United States. He was somewhere else. But you know, you never know. You know, people can say one thing, and I don't live my life thinking everybody's a lie and a crook, but we've certainly seen our share since we've been doing this. But he was just bent on getting my buttercream recipe. And he told me he had a bakery. He ran a bakery, and he wanted my buttercream recipe, and I wouldn't give it to him. I said, no, I'm not giving it to you. And I know I was hard-headed and stubborn, but I just didn't, I guess I just didn't like his approach, for one thing. You know, we've told y'all before that Texas women are very headstrong, and we're very hard-headed, and you can get a lot more out of us being nice than you can if you're demanding to us, especially me. Maybe not my sister, but especially me, because I think you should be nice to people. Okay, so I'm getting pretty much close to being to where I'm going to use my bench scraper. Now, y'all are going to see in a minute how I'm talking about this setting. This sets very fast. And when you're decorating it and you're wanting to put things on it, you've got to get this icing to where you can put your decorations on it very fast. And again, you know, a lot of people are probably a lot faster at this than I am. And they may have turntables that turn automatically, and they don't have to turn it with one hand and ice with the other. But this is what I do, and I like my turntable. Mary bought this for me. Oh goodness, I don't know, several years ago, and it's in a Tico too. I love a Tico brand. I love the Tico, and I love Fat Daddy-O. That's where a lot of my cake stuff is. So I'm going to just go around the top of this and smooth this just a pinch. Now again, I'm not being as particular as I would if this was a wedding cake, because keep in mind, this is going to a bed and breakfast, and it's supposed to have that nostalgic look. So I've got, I need to wash my hands again. I've got, and I'm going to set this, get this out of my way so I don't knock the simple syrup over and get it all over me and everything else. So give me just a second. I'm going to move this, give my hands a quick wash, and I will be right back. So I've got my bags of icing, my colored icing fixed. You'll see that I got, and by the way, I know that a lot of people don't decorate cakes a lot, and you don't have maybe all the equipment that I have. I told y'all I'm gonna sit down. So, and I do tend to buy better stuff when I'm decorating. These are Wilton bags, or baby sugar or sweet sugar bell bags. If you buy the cheap bags, they're going to bust on you, and if you use a Ziploc bag, they're very, very apt to bust. If I was going to do something and I really wanted the cake to be nice, I would buy, just buy some Wilton bags. You'll be better off than you would if you have cake coming out the seams and everything. I did that one time, and I took a roll of packaging tape and wrapped around it because I didn't want to start over. It's a mess. So, you know, I'd rather just spend a few extra dollars and get something that you're not going to worry about busted. Now, does it mean that these won't bust? Absolutely not. I miss my sister. Y'all can tell I'm not used to doing this because I didn't swipe the comments, so I very much apologize about that. But this is a 2-layer cake. So I've got a few flowers here, fondant flowers that I made, just kind of little small ones. I've got a few more things that I'm going to put on here. I've got some meringue cookies. I didn't make these. I do make them, but I didn't. And I've got some Pirelli sticks. I'm just going to kind of freehand this and just kind of do whatever I feel like doing. But I've got paper towel in these bags, and I'm just gonna start. And this is one of those, I think they're called Russian cake tips. I believe that's what that is. So the trick to this is just, whoops, and I told y'all, probably just cause I said that, this one would come off, and it did. So I guess that was a good lesson for me because I didn't put a coupler on it. But that's okay. We'll try another one. If that doesn't work, we'll start over. So, and what you want to do is you want to push down and pull up at the same time. And I've got different, this is kind of purple, and that was really the one I wanted to use. So I'm just going to have to work with what I've got. So I'm going to do just a little border around here of this little flower, and then I'm going to fill in with some colors and some others. Now you'll notice that I didn't put a border around this because I was going to do it with these flowers. And I'm going to just, this is a small tip. It's just a regular star tip. And sometimes I do, you know, just like a zigzag. You can do a star. You can do so many different things with the same tip. So it's not like you're going to have to bag up a bunch of different ones. I've got a teal one here that's got a smaller tip on it. And I'm going to do some fillings with it. Because this is supposed to be a springtime cake, and I wanted to have some springtime colors in it. So I'm going to go ahead and start adding some of these. These are just little rolled roses. And I'll turn this around when I get through so you can see it. Now these aren't completely dry, but they're dry enough that that you'll be able to see it. when I'm doing this, I just kind of go by whatever I'm feeling like that day, unless it's an order that someone has specifically said what they wanted, then I'll just kind of do it the way I want to do it. And that's what I'm doing today. I'm just kind of freestyling, and I'm gonna put a little meringue there, and put one on the end down here. And I've got some little tiny leaves that I made. I just kind of fill them in around wherever I want to, and I made the leaves, and these are roll roses. These other little flowers are flowers I've done with the mold, but these are just rolled. You just cut a fondant gum paste strip, roll it up, and you just got a little tiny rose. So they're kind of cute. I like the color. I like to have different colors, so it just kind of looks like a springtime bouquet. And I always make extra flowers. Sometimes I don't know exactly how many I'm going to use, so I just make extra ones, so I'll have them. And I'll show you in a minute when I swing the thing around. I'll show you the other side of it. Now I've got some really cute tips, and the one that busted out and that came out is actually one of the ones that I like the best. And of course I'm not going to be able to show you that one because the bag, the bag didn't bust. What happened was because I didn't put a coupler on here, these are bigger than a regular tip like this one is. You don't need a coupler with that. But this one, because it's so big, it went through and come out the end of the bag because it didn't have a coupler on it. And when I'm talking about couplers, this is what I'm talking about. It's 2-piece, and the 1 piece goes inside, and then you put the cake decorating tip on it, and then you just screw the little thing on there. So I've got some little gold and purple beads. I'm going to put some of them on there. I'm just going to kind of place them periodically, just wherever I feel like putting them. And because this icing hasn't set yet, I can still put stuff on here. Once this icing is set, it's not gonna stay on there. So you've got to have your stuff ready when you're decorating. Let's see. I can't stand it up because it'll be too high for the cake plate. So I may not be able to put those in there. Let's see, we need a little gold one over there. I've got all kinds of little tiny ones, little tiny molds that are just what we call filler flowers, or at least that's what I call them. I don't know what professionals call them, but that's what I call them. And I'm just going to kind of put these in there wherever I feel like it. Maybe put another little leaf there. And put a little flower there. I've got some more leaves I need to put in here. You can take your brush and you can brush, you could brush some of these with different colors, but what I did is I colored the fondant, so it was already colored, so I knew that I had a time constraint, and once you if you're going to color them after you get them made, if you just do the white flowers, then you got to wait till it completely dries. So that's why I went ahead and colored the fondant, and I had my color on there to start with. So let's see here if we can add some more of this pretty teal color in here. Don't know if you can see that or not. I think I'm going to do some like maybe some little higher. I don't want to get it too high because I don't want it not to fit in her cake plate. She gave me the dimensions before I made it. Most people don't realize that you have to have these on a certain type of stand in order for it to fit under the cake plate. So you have to take that into consideration when you're doing a cake. So it has to be on exactly the size that the customer wants, or it won't fit on their cake stand. So I'm going to just put some little borders around the edge here, just to kind of fill that in a little bit. It looks like I've got quite a bit of purple in there. Don't have as much pink as I want, and I don't have as much white as I want. So although the cake is white, so the white's really not going to matter. But I really wanted to just basically show y'all how I do this, and I'm going to let this sit in the refrigerator a little bit. I might do just a tad bit more to it, but I don't know if y'all can see that or not. I'm not going to move the camera. I'm not brave like Mary is, so I'm just going to leave it like that, and hopefully y'all see it. I'm probably going to put some more flowers around the edge. I got to clean this board up a little bit too. Then I'll get a box. I use the window boxes for my cakes, and I'll put this on a box, in a box, real pretty box, and take over there for her to have to show for this weekend for pilgrimage. I don't know if Mary may get on after a while. I'm not sure. She might. She's pretty busy today too. But I hope y'all enjoyed this. I know it wasn't anything spectacular, but I just had to do this, and I thought it might be fun to show y'all what I do. I'm not going to show you the cookies. They are finished, except I have to seal them and get them boxed up and ready to ship. But because it is an order that's going out of state and they haven't seen them yet, I'm not going to show you those. So I will take pictures of them so y'all can see them later. But I hope everyone has a good day, and if you're in the storm's path, I hope everyone stays safe. I appreciate everyone wishing Charles, our oldest brother, a happy birthday yesterday. And as always, thank you so much for all the gifts, for following us, for loving us and supporting us. And we will be back together. Now, Mary may be on later today, but we'll be back together, Lord willing, Tuesday live at our regular time. So hope y'all have a wonderful afternoon. We love you, and thank you, and God bless, and don't forget to count your blessings. Bye.